What would a secure person do when their avoidant partner is pulling away? Well, first, understand, avoidance, especially dismissive avoidance and fearful avoidance that lean dismissive, one of their core triggers is emotional closeness. This is because they learn to associate emotional closeness with abandonment. It goes back to childhood. This is a person that was emotionally neglected by their parents or caretakers. They weren't given the love and the nurturing they needed as a child. So they learned that if you rely on anybody for your emotional needs, this person is ultimately going to reject you and maybe even outright abandon you. This creates a fear of emotional closeness because when things are going well and a relationship is getting closer, it triggers every bit of anxiety in their nervous system. And they find a desperate need to push their partner away, to create emotional distance, because this is how the avoidant has learned to keep themselves safe, by not allowing anybody to get too close and by not allowing their feelings to get too deep. Now, just because we can understand where this comes from and where these fears are originating from, it doesn't mean you have to tolerate it. If you want a relationship that includes emotional closeness, consistency in communication, a relationship where the partners are growing together, not apart, this means it's time to hold a boundary. The anxious person is not going to hold a boundary whatsoever. The anxious person is going to desperately try to conform to what they think that their avoidant partner wants. They will self-sacrifice and let all of their needs and wants be completely neglected in order to try to prevent this person from leaving the relationship. They may reach out more and be more loving, more empathetic, and unfortunately, not only does it not work, it actually pushes you further into anxiousness because you're neglecting yourself. The secure person, however, is going to communicate and hold a boundary. The secure person will feel anxiety because it's a natural human reaction to feel anxiety when a person that you love and care about is pulling away from you. However, the person that is truly secure and grounded in themselves and has a true sense of self will communicate and hold boundaries. First, the secure person will communicate with the avoidant and say, hey, I've noticed that you seem to be a little bit distant. Our level of communication has dropped off. Are you still interested in the level of connection that we have? Because I just want to let you know, this is what my expectations are. This is the level of communication that I need in a relationship. See, the secure person knows that asserting their wants and needs in a kind and empathetic way is not needy, it's not clingy, it's not demanding, it's healthy, it's secure. Now, if this person truly is an avoidant, they're likely to come up with very vague excuses as to why they're pulling away. Oh, work was just so busy. I've just had so much going on. I've been overwhelmed. After communicating, the secure person will wait to see what the avoidant does. If they start putting in effort and engagement, great. However, if this person is really still an avoidant and trying to create emotional distance, or they're not emotionally invested in the relationship, they will continue to maintain that distance or even back away further. And this is where the secure person will enforce that boundary. Hey, I've enjoyed the time we spent together. However, it seems that you and I have different goals. We have different desires in a relationship that ultimately are just not compatible. And I'm going to seek somebody who is in line with what I want and need. And that can be a very difficult thing to do. However, it is the secure thing to do, because a secure person knows that their wants and needs matter in a relationship. And if this person is completely unwilling to meet your wants and needs, or even attempt to when you assert it, they were never going to, because this is a person that is totally self-absorbed in themselves and only thinking about what they perceive that they want, need, and feel, or fear in the moment. And it's unfortunate, but you're only losing a relationship that would have been one-sided. A relationship where you were putting in all the effort and this person was only going to give breadcrumbs. Holding a boundary is not a recreational activity. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's an important thing to do. The main reason why an anxious person won't hold a boundary is because of the fear of losing the relationship. But ask yourself, what kind of relationship do you really have when you're with a partner that shows no concern for meeting your wants and needs whatsoever, and you have to cater to theirs? That's not a healthy relationship. It's a one-sided relationship. And when you neglect your own wants and needs, you're telling yourself a terrible message. When you're not holding a boundary, you're telling yourself a very negative message. You're telling yourself that your wants, needs, and feelings don't matter, and you can't rely on yourself to take care of your own wants and needs. However, when you do hold a boundary, you're telling yourself the opposite. You're letting yourself know that you do have your own back, even when it's hard, and you can rely on yourself, that your wants and needs and feelings do in fact matter. It is easy to hold a boundary when you have no feelings for the person, but when you catch feelings, it becomes a lot harder to hold a boundary. But it becomes all that much more important, because if you don't hold boundaries, a doomed relationship will just prolong. A one-sided relationship will just drag on far past its expiration date. And you'll have spent time of your life, emotional energy that you can never get back, and you invested it in a person that was not investing it in you. When you hold the boundary, if it causes the end of the relationship, you are freeing yourself up to meet the person that is emotionally invested and is willing to put the effort into you that you were willing to put into them. Don't sell yourself short. Your wants and needs do matter, and you're not being needy for holding your ground and asserting your wants and needs in a kind and empathetic way.